Hey Sam,
Hello, good day.
how are you, man?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Doing well, doing well. Yes, it's fine. Yeah, going fine. Wanted to close the week before Christmas. Yeah, it's going to be a funny Friday today. Hey
Yeah.
Larry, how's it going?
Hello, it's going well. How you guys doing?
Doing well, doing well, doing well. Let's see who jumps on. I'm going to put a reminder on the Telegram group and Slack. Something. Let me see what the link is. Anyway, I'm always having problems to see what the link is. Ba, ba, ba. I mean, okay. Someone else joins. Okay, everything's there. Okay. Let's see if we jump the barrier of 3 people. Yep, love it.
I'll be attending just for like 20 minutes because I have an appointment at 5. So I just
Yeah, me too. No
be with you
worries.
guys.
Yeah, I'll probably be running shorter because I have a demo at work. So yeah, it wouldn't be appropriate to be here and then the demo is happening. So, but yeah, I'm going to be at least minus 15 minutes. So yeah, it's going to be fun. So yeah, any topics you want to discuss? Any Isam or Larry or anyone that is muted today?
Because I was here last time, maybe I'd leave the space for someone else if they'd like to discuss something specific.
Okay, maybe. Yeah. Well, the first one talking is an AI, which is good. Uh,
I got one I can throw out here for you guys.
hey, Dusty.
How's
Yeah,
it going?
doing well. How
So
about you?
good, my friend. Good, good. Good to see you guys again. So my organization has made a decision to pivot from third-party solution to build your own.
Mm-hmm.
And I was curious, it's been some time since I've looked at it, if the tech stack for a build your own model for a FinOps platform is changed, or is it still kind of fundamentally the same for AWS, basically load everything into Redshift, use glue crawler on the curve file, ETL with the Athena to query it and solution it and host it all in QuickSight.
Um, as far as I know, and maybe Larry or Isan can provide more insights, I was in the AWS optimization day here in Spain, and basically the stack that they run for their solution is that one.
Yeah.
So Athena, some Glue, and then QuickSet for visualization. They get the data from the cost billing directly, as far as I know. So it depends if you want to move it somewhere else. I think because I am not a huge expert on AWS, so just a disclaimer. but I was there,
Sure.
and that's what they were doing for building their solutions.
That's
For
still
example,
okay.
yeah, so basically their dashboards or the installation they do for the kudos dashboards and all this stuff on the background, it's that. So you
It's
can
that.
leverage
Yeah.
something that is already there if you want to build dashboards. You can leverage kudos dashboards and all this stuff. But yeah, that's my thought.
Cool.
Yeah, if I had to
Yeah.
build it myself, that's like the stack I would start with for sure. Yeah, kudos on top of it gets you a bit of the way there. I'll say at scale, it's definitely more challenging. So like building your own quick site dashboards and things, but
Right.
um how do you plan to tackle allocation? I mean, do you have really good tagging already, or do you?
No, it's terrible. We're actually going to try to staff up and bring an FTE in, and I'm looking for uh just a pretty nuanced skill set. I've got the logic already
Right.
mapped out, but I don't know if there's a way you can tackle it using some type of ETL data transformation. I mean, my thought initially is to use the focus data set to get everything consistent across AWS, Azure, and GCP.
Right.
Try to get everything loaded into Redshift, and then I don't know if there's a way we can do transformation to, based on business logic, effectively add columns into a Redshift table that would basically enrich our tagging, because our tagging is not really good as most organizations, and our account structures just
Same, yeah.
garbage, right? I mean, we've got 80% of our spend is in one account, which is not ideal.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
No, and this is just what I inherited. So
Right.
I wrote a bunch of business logic and basically looked at the resource ID. If it contains this set of characters or string value, then we know who owns it. Basically that kind of logic. But our third-party tooling supported it, had it in the back end. So it worked really, really well to get us where we needed to go from a cost allocation and visibility perspective. But without that, then we're going to have to hire some talent to help us get that same data structure inside of Redshift.
Makes sense. Yeah, I'm not sure what they already if AWS provides tooling around those topics, because we were talking yesterday. Well, this is a spoiler, but we were talking yesterday. Well, with someone in AWS, and most of the topics was on optimization, but I'm not sure what are the tooling related to tagging within AWS itself. Not sure if
Yeah.
is there anything else. I'm not sure it is. Probably there isn't many things to remediate tagging issues and all this stuff. So yeah, probably you need to build your own thing, which is a pity.
Yeah. Yeah. The other option, I guess, would be just to use Lambda. And if you've got the logic built, just basically write a function to go out and get everything tagged at the source.
Yeah, we're migrating from our tagging to one tag, and then
Yep.
taking it at a most granular level as possible,
Yep.
and then having a metadata repository.
Yep.
We're going to use we've got Backstage, a couple of instances of Backstage, and we're just going to leverage that to then feed back into and populate the additional metadata beyond just the tag itself. So because organizations change, teams change, all
Right.
stuff, and
Then you're out. Yeah. Then you're out manipulating
right,
tags again and touching them. And it's just a pain in the ass
right,
to manage.
right.
So
We've ran some spikes that have been successful on like AWS cost categories, laying that on top of the Cur data, but there's limitations. They only allow up to about 500. I think it's 500 rules in a definition, and
oh,
we've got like our hierarchy starts like business unit, product group, product, system, and role. Business unit, there's like 56 of those, and then
yep.
product group, there's a couple hundred, but then product is like 700, then it's 1,000, then it's like 6,000.
Yeah.
Like the last three we can't use cost categories for, and I'm like, come on, AWS, like fix this. And I put a PFR in it for it, but yeah, it's most people are doing it not using cost categories and doing I'm not familiar enough with Redshift, but yeah, doing something to where you're effectively joining the data as part of your data set,
Yep.
and then you're lighting it up in QuickSight, so you're able to do the allocations, the seeing, you know, costs by team, by product, system, application, whatever. So
Yep. That's it.
yep,
Wish me
that's
luck, guys.
that's
I
fun.
Yeah.
appreciate the insight.
What are you going away from, if you don't mind me asking?
We had Cloudability. Signed a 2-year contract, and it
Yeah.
we blew through our commit pretty quick. We didn't understand what their pricing model was, and we had a shift in leadership. So the original person that was here that invested in FinOps and signed the contract, he's no longer with us, and the new leadership doesn't like the pricing model that software contract is basically written off list price and not our invoiced amount. So it's
Yeah.
a percentage of spend, and
Yeah, Dusty, we had the same exact challenge. We went with, we had an RFP this year, looked at 17 vendors, and
oh,
Cloudability was in there. We had Cloud Health, and
yep,
it was the same thing. Cloudability was the second most expensive after Flexera,
yeah,
and we ended up choosing Cloud Zero because they provided us, they were able we were able to negotiate with them quite extensively and get it down to, and off the bat their fees were, you know, fixed price based off of your your net amortized spend and things. So like that worked for us, right? It's
yep.
discounted, all that stuff. So it's not like this, like with Cloud Health and with Broadcom, uh, they started back billing us overages where they hadn't done that for several years. They went
Oh,
back this past year about 8 months, and
oh shit.
oh, here's a bunch of money you guys owe us, and yeah, it's in the contract, but they weren't billing it before, and so. But anyways,
Right.
um, yeah, it's been, I'll say, with like the allocation, the data model, and the platform within Cloud Zero, the capabilities are phenomenal comparatively, and it's been absolutely awesome the past couple months.
Did they we actually looked at Cloud Zero. Did they know at the time I was looking at them? They we have a huge Kubernetes deployment in AWS.
Same. Yeah, same.
Did they ever integrate KubeCost with Cloud
So
Zero, or
they have their own agent, and literally our Kubernetes groups, we got two of them. We use EKS, and we have K8s as on top of EC2 for,
okay?
don't know why, it's just legacy stuff, and we're moving over to the EKS at some point. But using their own agent, then it's a single vendor solution versus,
Yep.
I think it was like Flexera that you had to use cube cost, and we're like, well, I don't want to, you know, add another layer of complexity with another vendor on top of this. And
That's right. That's what I was thinking of. It was Flexera, not Cloud Zero. That's right. Okay.
yeah, yeah. But it's, I don't know. I would really take, you know, potentially, if you've got the potential budget or maybe appetite, do a POC with Cloud Zero, because lighting up Azure, GCP, AWS, and everything all into one space, one location. Their allocation dimension engine is the best
Oh, great.
in the industry. And I could say this now that you're actually using them, and we went from 9 users in early September. We've got almost 400 now, and people are in there just as a platform goes, because you've got spend all across the board. Um, I really enjoy their system. It's been tremendously
Well,
valuable. So I don't know. I don't know, Victor, what your thoughts are
Um,
based on
it-
like any particular vendor right now or not or whatever, but
In terms of that, I am I'm not going to say it's a bit. I am a bit constrained because I really don't know sometimes what people are doing, which is kind of weird. Because I, I deal with every one of them, so that's why probably next year I am going to focus as well on, seeing the tools and try to get access to some sandbox environments and see what the hell they are doing, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to judge anything. So I'm working on that one. I don't have more or less any insights other than their marketing information. So I
Yeah.
cannot help on that matter. But I am getting good information about what the tools are, especially on Cloud Studio, because I have never. I think I was going to meet their marketing team yesterday, and now it's
Mhm.
switched to next year. But I would like to see, because I think it seemed they are very professional kind of oriented, and the CTO wrote a couple of I think it's Eric Peterson
Yeah.
or Pearson,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know,
Eric Peterson's been involved in the community for the past
forever, right?
dude for
Long
a
time.
while, and he's
Yeah.
written various unit economics papers and whatnot, and what drove us to really look at them versus, I mean, and compared to like Flexera or really Cloudability or Cloud Health, like those are more like tier one FinOps tools. They've been around for a while, so they're really established, but they're not really innovating as nearly as much compared to these like younger startups. And
Yeah.
Cloud Zero for us, I'm looking at, like, I know with F2 they've got this FinOps scopes concept, right? My team manages 173 vendors worth of spend, and
Oh shit.
AWS is definitely number one, right? Don't get me wrong, but I want to get fully loaded costs across the board, and Cloud Zero has a platform with their any cost API and capabilities in their data model. I can load all those invoices, data centers, networking costs, SaaS, technology, people costs, all that stuff up into Cloud Zero, and then with their telemetry streams, you can load up the units for that you would use for like a unit economics.
Yep.
Mhm.
So for us with Twilio, it's we're communication, so it's like number of emails, text messages, customers, etc. And their data model supports you doing those calculations that you want to be able to do as a SaaS company, as a business, even too, on top of your cost data, and you can bring in revenue, you could do full business optimization, and I'm actually proposing a talk for FinOps X next year to kind of showcase where we're going to be at here in 6 months, using the tool, but also talking about how to manage a small 3-person FinOps team and how to manage 173 different vendors and things. Do that successfully. So uh that yeah, so the like the platform and their data model is what really attracted me. And I had talked to um another one of their customers that is a significantly larger financial bank than we are on AWS, and they didn't have any performance issues with Cloud Zero. So I that was a concern of mine because
Right.
Cloud Health, we ran into issues with their perspectives completely falling over and not working for about 2 months this past year.
Oh shit.
And so like the allocations and the dimensions, they were zeroed out whenever you used them. And so the system was unusable, and we had a bunch
Right.
bunch of issues there and things. But
That's what I wrote a bunch of same thing back in business logic and cloudability that mapped
right,
all that stuff out. And
right.
so,
So
yeah, having something that's a similar capability in Cloud Zero or whatever solution it is would, certainly have to do that. That stuff's important.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But no, I'm good to hear that they've got, I love the bringing in the telemetry data. I know Eric was big on that at Cloud Zero and unit economics. He's done a lot in that space.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we'll see. The pricing model, is it similar to the other platforms or
I mean, it's similar-ish, right? So it's
it,
how
it,
much they're really what they're really looking at is based off of your spend, effectively like how much data are you going to be piping in their platform, and then that costs them some amount of money, but
Right.
it's they give you I don't know how large of a shop you guys are, but we're like top 20 AWS, so it's like a double XL customer. They they
Yeah.
were they were a bit cheaper than Cloudability, like
Yeah.
out the gate, and we were able to negotiate them down quite a bit from there too.
Yeah. We got a pretty good rate for our level of spend. I think in the Amazon, we're in the top for the US Central region, I think is how they do it by. I was heard we're in the top 10 in spend.
Yeah.
We've got yeah, we're not 100 million, but not 50 million, but it's a
Yeah,
pretty
so it's
healthy annual amount.
yeah. I mean, we're above that. We're a bit above the 100 million, but it's yeah. I mean, we signed a 2-year deal with them, got fixed pricing.
Good.
Very very happy with it. I mean, literally from getting the POC deployed and then us deploying with their dimensions and allocation functionality with their API, using VS Code. You can write it's the way they do it's great. Using VS Code, they have an add-on that
Oh, really?
you can write a YAML file that defines all your dimensions, and
Oh,
you
shit.
can publish it, review it. It's really, really well thought out, and we've thrown very complicated scenarios at
Sure.
allocations. Like for instance, we've got we've got I'll say like 96% of our costs allocated at the very top level, 97%. But as it goes down, it's a bit fuzzier, and we're working on that. But we've got these unallocated costs that we want to then proportionally allocate out with what we know.
Yep.
And you can do that, and then we've done that within their system to say, for this bucket of unallocated, look at what's allocated, look at the
Yep.
percentages, and then
Yep.
proportionally allocate those out for us. Or you can also use a telemetry stream like revenue, like a percentage of revenue, to say, oh, allocate these extra costs by revenue. Um, there's many they've really thought about that. And then we can, because it's in VS Code with a YAML, we've got GitHub source control around it. Managing it there within the team. So as me and my team are making changes, we're pushing PRs, this, that, and the other to
Yep.
control it. They do within, again, their plugin in VS Code has a diff. So whenever you go publish it, you
You
can
can,
review the current changes versus your new
right.
red and green, just like you would expect, in a
Yeah.
modern type code comparison
Yep.
IDE things. And it updates for us, it updates about 10-15 minutes once we push it out there. For smaller customers and things, it might take just a few minutes, but it certainly beats the hell out of waiting a whole day for Cloud Health
Right.
to populate.
Yep. Yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah,
That sounds phenomenal. Yeah, I've been
yeah,
using
yeah,
VS Code and the Cloudability API. I've using Postman to get it updated and then waiting 2 days for it to populate.
right. No, it's not
And then you realize that, oh shit, I missed some logic. I need to go update it again. Then you gotta wait another 2 days,
exactly.
and it just, yeah, it's
You're wasting all sorts of time.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
No, I like that. If there's, yeah, a custom YAML that you can just bang on the back end and then let it reprocess right away. That's
yeah.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I'm curious to see, because I read the other day that Broadcom had like amazing results, and all of a sudden they are like kicking up on AI and all this stuff.
They, they
Uh
they paid for those results on Gartner.
yeah. No, but I'm not on Garnet, but on the let's say quarter report for the stock. And I'm curious to see like what's going to be the impact of the VMware, all the VMware things in the next few years, because those are not yet there. Like all the contracts that are now, not renewed and all this stuff. I'm not sure these numbers are there. And I'm
Right.
curious to see what's going to be the impact because they say like, yeah, this is the new
Yeah.
trillion company, and I'm like, not sure.
Yeah. I'll be honest. They tried to renew with us, and they were actually the cheapest.
Yeah,
Like out the gate, it was very, very surprising. And I think the
yeah,
reason for that was at both FinOps X's this year when I went and was talking to other practitioners, like who are you using, whatever, right? Everyone's running away from Cloud Health.
yeah,
And I expect that those I think you're right. The numbers are good. That's gonna start tanking.
yeah. I
That's
do
gonna start
agree
going.
because I
So
was super. So it's a stock that I've been following for quite some time. I think it was invested sometime like 2021 or something around those lines. And then I saw the numbers the other day, a report, and I was like, yeah, but I'm not sure if like they made a lot of acquisitions, so they probably have a huge goodwill kind of number. I will have to check the numbers, but probably there is a lot of, let's say,
yeah.
IP and goodwill under the asset management. So
Yeah, check the
um,
numbers. They laid off all their account executives earlier in the year
Oh,
too.
let me
wow.
see. Let me see if that's
Yeah.
available.
So we had a TAM and we had an account executive. The account executives were all laid off, and our TAM then became
Stock
like
analysis.
a middleman trying to deal with back end Broadcom, and then Arrow came in.
Oh, geez.
It was just a mess. It was just very challenging, just the M&As, the integrations, whatever,
Right.
it's just. And
Yeah,
I
there
heard a
is some.
rumor. I heard a rumor they're trying to shop Cloud Health now too. So
Yeah, I would love to sort them, but I think it's too risky. I'm going to share with you guys. Screen one. That's why this is some of the reasons that I joined FinOps and all this stuff is because I love balance sheets, but I am a technical guy, so it's kind of I am a bit crazy. So total assets is 165.
mhm.
Goodwill is 90, almost 100. Other intangible is 140 in total. So intangible things are 140 from 165. And this has been increasing. Yeah, in proportion, this has been increasing probably.
Well, VMware got brought on. It was this year, right? So that's
Yeah.
the bump,
Yeah, this is the bump. Like you can see the bump.
and it hasn't fiscal year versus TDM. It's the same number. Yeah, I wonder
This
what it
is
would look like. Start
huge.
looking like next year.
Boy, this is, and let me see, where that was this. Yeah, so book value is increasing a lot. Um,
It's good in
yeah,
paper.
working capital is decreasing. Mm,
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah, they have something has gone wrong here, because everything is increasing except for working capital. So you are putting less effort, so you become super efficient or something. Um, this is interesting.
Yeah. Hey, Damien.
Hey, Demian,
Hey guys.
the cash flows are increasing, which is the operating, and then the free cash flow. Yeah, the free cash flow increased a bit, which is good.
You'd hope, yeah, you'd hope with the acquisition. So
Yeah, cash acquisition, and let me see how the debt. Yeah, a lot of debt going on. Let me see the debt ratio.
Yeah.
Where is the debt EBITDA? Yeah, they are now. Well, they are not too high. Surprised about that.
Mhm.
What's the turnover ratio? Yeah, whoa. The ROIs. Yeah, the ratios are decreasing. This number is important. Yeah, whoa, what are numbers? Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going on here. I have some funny financials, but this number is crazy. Let me do a quick 60 over 75. Let me put the calculator on. I'm curious to see. Calculadora 60. I'm sorry for this geek stock analysis, but if you are interested in investing, probably it's resourceful information. 80%, and then 140. 140 divided by 165. Yeah, they are increasing from 80. It's still large. From 80 to, well, not 80. Let me see. So now it's 83 of the percent. Also, 85% of their assets are intangible assets, which is too high for my things. And then 46 divided by 73. Yeah, they are increasing. Yeah. These numbers are crazy. So they are super overvalued in that term for sure. I'm going to see the pair ratio. That is a no. Yeah. They are super overvalued. They are super overvalued. What the fuck? Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay, just wanted to go. As I told you, I'm not a finance guy, but I love to check those things.
Yeah, it's all in the data, man. I mean, it's the stuff that we do with our day jobs and everything too. It's
Spain that is super, so it's very economically oriented to the analysis of the stocks, and he always goes like, yeah, let's see the goodwill. Yeah, you see this, then this is going to disappear. Because I had an experience with Kraft Heinz, the when they merged, they made like a huge goodwill for someone that sells ketchup and cheese. And they have like, I don't know, ridiculous numbers. You can lose there, for example, Broadcom from one year to the other. It could say like, yeah, this it's going to be removed for 20K. 20% of this is can be removed, and then all of a sudden you have 20% less assets, which is like, what? So that's something that you have to be a number that you have to be always checking when you check into a stock. I mean, for tech stock makes sense, but Broadcom has other things that are not pure tech, so they are very into semiconductors, and semiconductors are worth
Yep.
on itself,
big
like
mix. Yeah.
the inventories and all this stuff. So yeah, interesting.
Well, I have to
And
disconnect, guys. Thank you very much. Maybe we'll see each other next week.
Okay,
Have a
see you,
week.
Sam. Yeah, super interesting. 1 trillion. This is crazy. So what do you thought? I mean, I don't know if you have any thoughts on this as well, but how do you think the strategy of the acquisition thingy going on for the FinOps? In two terms, like big companies such as IBM, Broadcom, all this stuff, acquiring solutions and then doing weird things because not integrating them and doing whatsoever. And then when do you think we are going to see acquisition within the FinOps ecosystem? Like, for example, Cloud Zero acquires whatever too. What are your thoughts on that one?
I think we'll start seeing some of this next year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I know at Barcelona and at reInvent, talking to others, either the vendors or practitioners, it's there's too many vendors in the space. Either buying to shut down or buying to fill a gap in capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely see see some acquisitions happening there. You've got, different great solutions on, no, sorry. So first off, I'll say you got a ton of people playing in the reporting and business intelligence area, right?
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot there. But then when you look at like shifting left to the engineers or workload optimization as like that's your specialty, there's fewer in those spaces, but there's
Yeah.
need within that space. Um, and I think Dusty, like you were referring to earlier with like focus, it's going to really drive these the vendors who adopt it, which I'm a maintainer on the focus standard. So I got a vision for it. I believe it will help the
Yeah.
industry, period, get get the data normalized, and
Yep,
vendors that can adopt that sooner rather than later and go beyond just AWS, GCP, Azure,
that's right.
um, will be able to within their platform support much larger use cases. I think we'll stay around a bit longer than say just like Cloud Health right now. Like
Yeah.
they've just got like a decent, I'll say, BI. They're working on it. It's newer, sexier, whatever, but they're still not getting it.
Yeah.
And
And then I do think that there's going to be a lot of disruption in that level once people start to work on
right,
the tools, because I am already seeing some people doing crazy good stuff on Focus, and it's only going to evolve, especially the providers like, the dashboards, all this stuff. They are probably going to even get better. So visualization tools are going to be there, will require to move to another topics, because otherwise they are going to not be paid for that only, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, with focus, I'm wondering if we're going to see a shift maybe for some open source tooling to start to mature with now that everything's going to be normalized.
Yeah.
I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on the third party platforms to really differentiate themselves from one another. Based on everybody's going to get the same data set, the data is going to look the same. So then what could you do from a supplier perspective, to differentiate your solution from others that have the same intelligence and same data that you got?
Yeah, I do
That
agree
was
on that one.
Yeah. I mean, that was a big selling point for a lot of these guys, is that they had multi-cloud support. And a lot of the smaller
Yeah.
solutions, when they started out, didn't have it, right? Like Ternary started out, it was all GCP. A lot of people didn't have like Kubernetes support, and it's
Yeah,
yeah.
so
I
I
mean, I
think
think
it's
it's
going
it's
to be it's
going to
going
be
to be a
interesting.
change of let's say paradigm. Before it was like, yeah, I want to see what's going on because it's the first step, like the inform kind of thingy. And now it's like, now that you can probably see everything easily with codes, you have to do some work, but in a normalized state is now you have to move to, I think we are going to move the focus on operational kind of stuff, so code related topics, all these infra,
Yeah.
Terraform tooling that is able to remediate all this stuff. I think that's going to be the
yep.
the
And,
next
and
wave.
operational, the observability telemetry
Mm.
that comes, right? That
Yeah.
most tools don't have that. So, and that's a whole other level of like data that you're talking about, but
Mm.
is very, very valuable to the work that we do. And because you immediately go to, well, why'd the costs here go up, this, that, and the other? And is
100%.
this being used? Is it idle? Right? You need that information to inform your decisions. Um, so like Datadog is huge in observability. Their cost solutions got a lot of work to do. So it's
Mm.
potential like they've got a leg up on potential maybe a longer term vision on it. Yeah, versus the like you said, Victor, the vendors who have focused on informing for costs, only costs. That's a part of the
Right.
picture. It's just
Yeah.
a part. So
Yeah. The Datadog one's interesting because you can take the cost data and then marry it up with the telemetry data they get, provide some really good insights.
Yeah.
out of the box.
I'm wondering if they are going to measure their own costs successfully at some point.
Allegedly, they do that themselves using all their tools. They eat their own dog food, and like
Yeah. As far we had the information that from a guy from Spain that gave a presentation for RAN that they are struggling to even provide the correct numbers once from their data. So I'm wondering to see how they are evolving because
yeah,
he is very into he's very into sustainability as well, so getting but based on data, right? Not on anything but getting the data for the carbon emissions and all this stuff. And related to cost, they tell us like, yeah, that Datadog is they don't even they are not even able to match almost the invoice to the numbers and to see
right.
like everything collapse. So I think they are now moving to this because they entered, I think they entered some part of the foundation council. I don't recall which, but someone in Datadog, I think on Focus or I don't recall when, are entering into a council. So I'm assuming, and since they are one of the, let's say, generate of costs more mentioned in SaaS, I think they're going to be fun how they evolve on 2025 on that matter.
And they're really expensive too.
Yeah. It seems like I haven't used it, but it seems like they are very expensive. You do, right?
Yeah, we
Okay.
use them. They're expensive. So there's a lot of talks around what alternatives are out there, and yeah, it's great, like great great place to be in as a potential startup to take on these, and that's where the newer startups like in the FinOps space have noticed that within the community, people are really sick and tired of the super costly like
Right.
Cloudability, Cloud Health, Flexera,
Yeah.
whatever, right? And it's like, okay, yeah, we can offer up a different model and a different approach on it. And with both of those, I think like coupled together, it's kind of it's starting to shake up the industry a bit.
Hmm. Yeah, I
And
do agree.
it's the bigger ones are going to have trouble, I think, innovating. We've seen, I think, I'll say from my experience with Cloud Health, we've seen that where two plus years of me using it, not a whole lot changed at all,
Yeah.
the product itself. So
I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm curious. I'm curious, super curious to
I
see how
think
this
that the
evolves.
model of payment will change as well. The more
Hmm.
the more we're gonna see the more tools we see, I guess that model of taking a percentage of
The cloud
either
risk.
usage or the savings is gonna stop, and then we're gonna go with license or something like that.
right. Yeah, I agree, Damien. Yeah, like the percentage of savings with like Prosper Ops, for instance, it's difficult for really us to we're not partnered with them, but we looked at them really hard, and we have a pretty good coverage rates on our RIs and savings plans, but it's like,
Yeah,
can we trust them in totality? And then two, even if we do trust them, it's like we're sharing
that's right.
millions of dollars with them. Like
Yep.
we could actually staff up for cheaper and do that ourselves. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that I also agree with Damian that they're like now that the scale of things are getting bigger, you need to consider that maybe some solutions have their limits in terms of commission base.
yeah,
So because otherwise they're going to be it's going to be cheaper to build it on your own. So you don't have to charge that much that you get a team build and build a solution, even though
yeah.
it
That's where I'm at.
yeah, totally.
yep, yep,
You need to cap after all. It's like that's limited. Even though they say yeah, but you are earning on savings, so you are improving your situation. It's like yeah, I'm aware of the problem now. I can build it on my own, even though I save less. The total cost or the total savings with your bill, let's say, with including the vendor impact, will be probably higher. This is something that they probably are not thinking in terms of scalability. They are, amazed on the numbers that they do, but maybe you need to, subtract the the cost of the vendor after all. It's going to be interesting and how the model is going to be for them.
Yeah.
Again, as I see it, they will go for a license like any other software. That's it.
Yeah, SaaS kind of thingy.
At first it was very cool. It was a new thing. Now you have like 200 tools out there competing with each other.
Right.
I'm surprised that any one of them didn't already
Yeah.
say. I mean, forget about this percentage or these cost reductions. This is the tool. I have everything that everybody else has. This is the license costs $100 per year. Everybody, let's have 1 million users. That's it.
Yeah, I think probably moving to a hybrid model, maybe as I don't know if Larry mentioned it with the Cloud Zero thing, but some fixed cost for for small companies, you can always charge on commission base, and that's fine and easy to land. But for large companies, it's like you maybe set up a hybrid part, which some cost is fixed and some cost is hybrid, but the variable part is low, like 0 point something of the
Right.
total, or zero,
Right.
or based
Yeah,
on
yeah.
savings.
Right.
And then so someone is, and the cost that you are going to, let's say the cost for the vendor is like how much this client is going to cost me. You can put something, and then the rest is margin. Like it can be less margin, more margin, and play around those lines. Because otherwise it's going to be too much. I think the numbers are too high. Like you are saying, 100 millions is like, doesn't make any sense for someone to get 4% of that. It's like you're
Right.
4 millions with one client. It's like you are making the best day business in the whole world.
Yeah, or if 4% or even 1%, like
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, the numbers are crazy. So you cannot make it on cost. When I learned that, I think it was cloud ability, or that get 4% of the cost, the total cost, and I was like, what? Like that's impossible. Like I wouldn't pay that for a large company. Like I wouldn't pay that.
yeah,
Never.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It's if we spent $100 million a year, $4 million a year on that, no way. No way.
How many people is that? They are so it's 40
That's a
people.
company.
40 people of 100,
Yeah.
100K a year. So that's a startup, basically.
Right. Right. And
That's
it's
a startup for you, like literally for Twilio to handle the FinOps teams. Like you can make a startup out for that.
yeah, I mean it's more than 100K, but benefits and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But it's still do you build it or do you rent it? Like what's your primary function like within the company, right? And it's
Right.
is there a potential alternative out there that is significantly less than $4 million a year that provides the platform and the capabilities that get you either everything you want or most of what you want, right? 90+%, and maybe you're sacrificing on a couple things, whatever. But like again, yeah, for us, we're really, really, really damn happy with where we're at. But yeah, most companies run with multiple tools because of this.
yeah.
But yeah.
I would like to see like if there's going to be a FinOps tool that aggregates the cost of their own the FinOps tools that you're using. So
Yeah. How to optimize your SaaS contract with your FinOps vendor.
yeah,
FinOps for FinOps software.
FinOps, yeah. That's going
Yeah,
to be. I don't discard it. So
Sometimes I think that you need to do even more than that, just to see how many people are involved in the FinOps, in all the FinOps work, and see if that's really worth it. what is the ROI on that? But
Right.
ROI on that.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I'll have to drop now because I have a call in about 5 minutes. I'm not sure if with the call will close or not. If it closes, sorry about that. Well, I can keep it muted and then I can close it later on if that's fine. If not, I can close it now. As you want. So yeah, guys, it was a pleasure. Great that we are now today we double. So if we double every time, every week, it's going to be super fun. So yeah, thanks for having the time, and it was a wonderful conversation, guys.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys.
Okay.
Great holidays.
Yep. Happy holidays.
Cheers.
Happy New Year. Yep.
Cheers.